Welcome, everyone, to episode 45 of the SnapCast podcast with your hosts, Brad O'Brien and Mike Cooley. We've got a sweet episode here for you today. We got some awesome spoilers on hand here. And I have saved myself for you guys.
Mike saved his spoiler virginity just for...
I have saved myself for you guys. You're going to get to see my first reaction to these spoilers. And maybe some of my first predictions and, feelings about the cards. And I will say, they're often wrong, but never unsure.
We're going to subtitle the podcast from now on, the SnapCast podcast. Often wrong, never unsure.
In case this is your first time joining us, we are a Magic the Gathering podcast where we talk about magic and magic-related things. We're geared towards the competitive Magic player with a casual interest in finance. God, I'm getting that down.
You are.
Getting down.
You're pretty good at this, and I will even say, we got a couple of comments on... our YouTube video from last week that some folks enjoyed the discussion. We really appreciate the interaction. You know what we didn't check today, Mike?
What?
If our chat function is working.
We didn't check that. That's all right. Hey, do your thing. Give them some more awesomeness, and I'll go do that.
Okay. So, Commander Legends. This is Wizards of the Coast's first print straight to EDH draftable product. This is really breaking new ground.
And I'm actually happy that they have that in mind now, like drafting, the sets that they print. I'm really happy about that because I feel like that's been something that they've forgotten in the last couple. You know what I mean? That like people enjoy, drafting sets that you release. So it's like you got to keep that in mind. You know what I mean? That encourages people to buy packs. People never buy more packs than when you get like 3-4 friends together and you're like, all right, let's draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even if you can just go to a shop and draft the set, if it's fun to draft and people want to do it, you're going to sell more packs, man. That's my feeling on it.
I wonder, a lot of people are talking about how the pandemic is impacting that sort of thing because this is meant to be a draft set. And for the most part, people are not drafting.
Right.
Like, I just don't know quite how that's going to impact it. Let's see. All right. Sorry, Mike, we're doing some technical stuff in the background.
Oh yeah, dude. We're doing it all for you guys. Like you really, we're doing some real technical stuff.
Real technical stuff.
Making sure a chat box works. All right, let's can we try it out? Can we type in our own chat?
We can, if you go over here.
Oh, let's do it. All right, hold on. Official testing for the people who are listening.
He's giving me the...
Yeah, of course. Like I'm giving this to you. It's now for the people that are listening. Last week we saw some interesting hang-ups, heartbreaks, and hang-ups.
We're live
for our chat box. We were unfortunately not able to see what people were typing on screen, but thanks to my quick handiwork here live, look at this. We're working now. Feel free, if you have something witty and smart to say.
Don't hold yourself back. Even if it's not witty or smart, you can still say something. We won't ignore you.
So we got it working, man. I'm pretty pumped about that. So now people, we can actually, when people watch this back, they'll be able to see what you guys are saying as well. And I'm curious to know what you guys think about some of these spoilers. I have nothing yet to say about them. Why? Because I have never seen them. I know some of you might have been paying close attention to them already, but you will see my first reactions here today. So we're going to start off by just checking those out, by going down through these Commander Legends spoilers, which I already got mixed feelings about. I'm not going to lie. I like it when they reprint some decent playable cards.
We definitely have that.
However, I'm always concerned about my card values, okay? Always concerned about them printing cards into the dirt. So I don't want to see any of that on this list. I want to see something that I could have reasonably, as a, secondhand Magic Market player over here, I could have been like, all right, hey, I really like that card. I'm going to buy some of it, and I want to see a damn return on my investment reasonably. But we will see.
But this is just a game. The cards don't have secondary market values, Michael.
Of course they don't. Of course they don't, because Wizards can never admit that, because then so much shit comes their way. They're basically gambling at that point. You're gambling buying packs. They can't admit that shit, but it's true.
But it's true.
And people do this. People make a living off of this.
When they put cards in there that you're like, okay, this is a card that needed a reprint, but this is a banner mythic that is just 2 sell packs. This is giving the lottery effect to these packs. So before we actually jump to the spoilers, I just sort of want to talk about the set itself. It is intended to be a draft set. You get 20 card booster packs.
Wow. I like the fact that they're stepping that up, man. That they're giving more cards away in booster packs now. I like that.
You take 2 cards for each pick in a draft.
Every pick, every round?
So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to bring up the computer screen for those of us that are watching on YouTube. Commander Legends Draft Experience. Draft from 3 20-card booster packs. Each player selects 2 cards for every pick.
Can I say this? All right, just looking at this art, okay, I haven't seen any cards, and maybe they haven't spoiled any of these yet, or they haven't even spoiled the full depth of what they might come out with here. But I see a couple goblins in these pictures here when they're talking about the Commander Legends Draft Experience. 2 of these photos have goblins in them. And it really makes me think they have been on a goblin kick these days. And I'm gonna remember that for my snap this up later on.
I
hope they reprinted some good ones.
So all of the cards in the set will be previewed by November 5th.
Day before my birthday. Oh. You guys now know a full roster of cards that'll be in this set, and just in case, anyone's like, hey, Cooley, take a break, here.
Product launch. You're giving everybody a full week plus notice to have your birthday presents ready for Cooley next week.
I'm just kidding. You guys don't owe me nothing. But at the same time.
But please, like, share, and subscribe.
That would be awesome.
For Cooley's birthday.
We would appreciate that, damn it. If you're not going to get me a present or any of these cards, least you could do. Just hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really helps us out.
One of the things that you can get... Oh, wrong window. One of the things that you can get in this are showcase foil etched.
What? Prosh, Sky Raider of Care.
Wow. They did a printing of... I'm going to spoil it now, but they did a printing of Nekusar in this treatment.
Oh, damn. So I wasn't too fired up about that card anyway, so I mean, you're not spoiling anything too big.
Nekusar is not turning you on.
No, but I know it does for you. I know he has a special place in your heart. That's for damn sure.
Well, it's
Brad's commander deck, in case anyone didn't know, and he is passionate about it. Just got a Wheel of Fortune off of a good friend of ours.
I did. Yeah. That deck's getting pimped out slowly but surely. But so this treatment is gorgeous, and maybe later on we can look up some of the...
Can I say an initial impression?
Yeah.
All right. I just want to make sure I understand this properly. I'm looking at an etched card here. This special collector's etched card, right?
Yep.
So I see a border that's etched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the art itself isn't etched.
No, it's just the gold edging.
Okay. Coming from someone who's done a lot of thumbnails in Photoshop, these guys are getting a good return on the least amount of friggin' work they could possibly do. Like, this is literally a gradient overlay in Photoshop. They took their generic filter, they added a gradient overlay.
Hold on. You haven't actually seen these.
Oh, there's a video of them. Okay, so we're watching a video now. Hold on. Do it again?
I'm going to try, but we'll see if the computer...
Is it a texture?
I don't know if it actually is textured or it just has the appearance of texture.
I think it has the appearance of texture because when you put a gradient overlay on something and then you put that special foil that messes with certain colors, which messes with your eyes, it can make it look like there's a texture there, but that is a gradient overlay on Photoshop. And these are the premium cards right here. They literally took the exact card, foiled it, and added a gradient overlay on its frame. Special edition. We spent a lot of time on these. I'm not overly impressed.
You're never overly impressed.
I'm not overly impressed.
That's
I will
like
say
one of the roles that you play on this podcast. I'm like, dude, this is so cool, and you're like, nah.
Yeah, I got to be like the old man. You know what I mean? I got to be the boomer in this. Be like, all they did was just something stupid, and now they're charging more for it.
Back in my day, a plastic bag was all you needed for your magic cards.
Back in my day, when they had a special edition card, they'd foil it, and the thing would bend in a damn month. That was special.
All right, so legit, Mike hasn't checked out these cards. He saw a flash of some stuff as I was preparing. Now, but let's go to our favorite site, Mythic Spoiler.
Yep. So that's what we're looking at now, and wow.
So
okay,
this is sorted right now by, like, before the whole set is spoiled, they typically put the higher rarities up at the top of the page, and then it goes down in rarity. We can also look at it through newest spoilers, but I think as you haven't seen any of these, this is probably better than newest spoilers.
Oh my God.
What are you seeing?
I'm looking at the first one.
Archon of Coronation.
Holy hell, that's a nasty card.
Oh, by the way, Monarch is in this set.
Holy hell, that's a nasty card. So call me crazy. And again, often wrong, never unsure. I could see this being an Oath target or a Reanimate target.
Oath of Druids or Reanimator in Legacy, yeah.
Like maybe as a sideboard card or something, even if by the very least. Because think about it. You run into like aggressive decks that are going to, maybe they win with Grape Shot, maybe they win with aggro, maybe they win with or whatever. Even modern, this could be a thing. Like if somehow you can cheat this guy into play, and suddenly it's like you go from a really busted deck that they're trying to outrace to something that you can't outrace. Which that's the thing. Granted, people are going to bring in removal, which is a counterpoint to it. However, you got the removal's got to be worth it. Like, and this card is so worth it because if they don't remove it and it goes to your next turn, you're drawing 2 cards. Or is it at your end step you draw a card?
Your end step.
Yeah, so you draw a card almost immediately after this thing comes out. So it cantrips almost right away. Like if they don't get rid of it on your end step, you cantrip with it. So you don't lose too much, right? And then from there, it's the old, it's like the Blazing Archon like Blazing Archon mixed with Glacial Chasm. You know what I mean? Where you don't take damage off from Glacial Chasm. When it's in play, you can't take damage. And like, yeah, look at this. Blazing Archon. It's the Archon. It's the white big fatty that some decks used to cheat into play against certain aggro decks because of that exact reason. Like you go from having a busted deck to something that's semi-measured that it just adds a whole new dynamic in there. And I think this is the card, and it adds 2 dynamics in there. And plus, let's not forget about Commander, dude. Like this is a very good card for just for the regular cheated in. Not bad. But also, if you just value this, it's a 5/5 flyer for 6 with 2 nasty abilities.
Yeah. Well, like you said, unless they somehow... So the condition on Monarch is you have to take damage.
Right. I was just getting there. You can't... As long as this is in play, you can't not be the Monarch. Like, think about that.
Isn't it... You have to take damage to lose the Monarch status?
Yeah. You have to get attacked
crazy.
and take damage, and then you lose the Monarch status. You can't not be the Monarch when this is in play, unless someone else becomes the Monarch.
Oh, but you take damage. Damage doesn't cause you to lose life. So you can...
It does not cause a loss of life means you do not take damage.
Damage doesn't cause you to lose life, but you still take the damage.
Someone let us know how that works. I don't think you take damage. So
Is
you take
Tech
the
4 in our
damage.
chat yet?
You take the damage, but you do not lose life. So therefore, you didn't take damage. I know that it sounds weird, but like I gotta find something that it's like comparable to for like a rule. Players, no, whenever I can think of it like a replacement effect that this is comparable to, but it's basically it replaces it. It's basically says damage doesn't cause you to lose life, replaces the fact that like you took damage.
It doesn't say you can't, like creatures don't deal damage, or you can't take damage from creatures or spells. It just says damage doesn't cause you to lose life.
Right. So you essentially take no damage. Worship. Damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces your life total to 1 instead. If you're at 1 and you take 1,000 damage, you took no damage. If you control a creature. You did not take any damage. You took 0 damage that turn.
Jason
you lost
Clark.
0 life.
I'm a dummy, but as a former ad nauseum player, I think Brad's right. I don't know if I'm right or not, but
ad nauseum is different. You do not take damage from ad nauseum. You lose life with ad nauseum. Losing life and taking damage are 2 very different things. So taking damage causes a loss of life, but there are other ways that you can lose life. So having that in mind, now think of this card. That damage being a product or a what do you call it? Like a damage is a way to cause a loss of life.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take damage, you lose life, right? There are other things that just straight make you lose life. Reanimate. You know what I mean? 1 mana, put a creature in play, you lose life equal to its toughness. Tendrils of Agony. Target player loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. Storm. Think of Grape Shot now. Target player takes 1 damage or deals 1 damage to any target. It's different because now that damage did not cause a loss of life. Therefore, you did not take damage. This card basically is saying you don't take damage. That's my argument. I think it's all tomato, potato, but at the same time, you don't take damage with this card as long as you're the Monarch. We're looking it up right now. Brad is...
It just says if someone deals you damage via combat, they become the Monarch. This is worded so that if combat damage is dealt, you don't lose the life. Like others have said, no, this will not stop you from losing the Monarchy. The card you want is Solitary Confinement, which would stop you from losing the Monarchy. Monarch moves on combat damage. It doesn't matter if loss of life happened.
What? BS. Really? That's not how it works.
Thank you. All right, so we got Tech 4 here. Andy, we are talking about Archon of Coronation.
The question is, Andy, and you got to answer this now because like I said, often wrong, never unsure myself. If damage does not cause a loss of life, you essentially don't take damage. So let's frame this differently.
Well, you take damage, but there's no effect.
Precisely. Precisely. If there's no effect and you don't lose life, you essentially just didn't take damage. So
hold on. Let me borrow $20. Okay, I'm going to give it back to you. The $20 bill never left your wallet, but we still had an agreed exchange.
No, I did have minus 20 for a minute.
No, I never took possession.
If I agreed to it, but yeah, I don't know. Let's frame this differently. You have a card that says when it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Then let's say you have Archon of Coronation in play.
You would still take damage.
You just don't block. It connects. He did not deal damage. He dealt 0 damage. You do not draw cards.
All right, so Andy is saying you do take the damage. Life totals don't change. So
essentially,
damage occurs, and then you choose not to. You don't make an adjustment to your life total.
God damn it. Now I'm wrong and sure of myself.
Often wrong, never sure of ourselves. Not bad. I mean, that was a pretty good conversation for the first card in the list.
Just like a lifelink creature dealing damage to you while you have Platinum Empyrean, they still gain life. No.
Right,
Really?
so your life total can't change, but they still did 5 damage to you.
Ah, okay.
I'm of course thinking of our favorite angel.
Okay, sort of like something if it is indestructible. You still deal 1 billion damage to it, but it doesn't die.
There we go.
Okay.
I can actually tell that we may have convinced him now.
Okay. I had to have multiple people gang up on me and tell me I was wrong. That's usually what it takes. All right, let's see some more damn cards. That card is trash. Monarch of Coronavirus, trash.
Monarch of Coronavirus.
Corona in the title, trash.
Let's see. We got a 9-mana blue sorcery, Mnemonic Deluge.
This better say you win the game on it.
Exile target instant or sorcery from a graveyard. Copy that card 3 times. You may cast the copies without paying their mana cost. Exile Mnemonic Deluge.
Trash.
Trash?
Trash.
Okay. You do know this is for Commander, right?
Yeah, trash.
You know that's not just CEDH, right?
Right. Yeah, trash.
Okay. Profane Transfusion. Looks like maybe this is a cycle.
Well, put it this way. This is why I say it's trash. There has been other cards for less mana that do far more devastating things, such as Enter the Infinite. And that says draw your entire deck. Now go at it. Like, if people couldn't bust it then, I don't know if they're going to be able to bust this,
Copy Genesis Ultimatum 3 times.
Yeah, you could, but then if someone has any sort of graveyard removal or any sort of,
What's the blue vote take extra turns spell?
Now that would be sweet. However, wouldn't you just want another take an extra turn spell in place of this?
No, if you could take that one and have 4 people vote for whether or not you take extra turns 3 times.
Yeah, but then you're relying on the spell resolving and the card still being in your graveyard when it does. So now you're relying on 2 ways to get rid of this, and you're paying for the mana cost you're paying. You might as well take 3 extra turns. 9 friggin' mana. I'd rather come across a 5 mana, take an extra turn after this one instead of 9 mana, possibly someday take 3 extra turns.
I don't know. I could see somebody playing this in the stupid blue ramp omniscience deck.
Possibly. Trash, though.
Profane Transfusion is another 9 mana.
2 target players.
Exchange life totals.
Okay, timeout. Again, before I read this had better say you win the game for 9 mana. This had better say you win the game. 2 target players exchange life totals. You create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token where X is the difference between trash. It doesn't say you win the game for 9 mana. Trash.
You're
you get a dude right. And 2 people exchange life totals. Trash.
It is interesting. Check out the art on here. I know you're not really flavor guy, but we were talking about ad nauseam a second ago. What does this make you think of? Phyrexian Unlife.
Oh, yeah.
Trash. I wish we should have, if only we could have the friggin' trash trifecta here if Waldemar was in the chat.
Oh, yeah, we could definitely have the trash trifecta. See, another reason why that's trash, think about that in a deck that it could be abused in, right? Ad nauseum. And now imagine ad nauseum trying to cast 9 mana spell, like...
Yeah, again, this is
trash.
It's a commander product.
Trash.
We got our first commander. Planeswalker.
Oh, this is gonna be good. It's 3 mana. It's gotta be.
Enters the battlefield with a loyalty counter on it for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. This can be, Jessica Thrace Reborn can be your commander, and it is a partner commander.
Ooh.
So it is a partner Planeswalker commander.
Oh, I love it. I don't care what it does.
So the first time, if you cast this before you cast the partner, it comes in with 1 loyalty and can 0 or -1.
I love this. I don't care what these abilities are. I love this.
0, choose target creature until your next turn. If that creature would deal combat damage to one of your opponents, it deals triple that damage to that player instead.
Oh, that's so vicious, dude. That's so vicious. This card's so good.
But, Mike, you have to have a creature.
No, you don't. Your opponents could have a creature. You could be like, by the way, Let's direct some traffic. You want to swing at Brad over here? You hit him for 3 times as much.
You so clever.
Dude, yep. Nasty. Card's nasty.
Minus X, Jessica herself deals X damage to each of up to 3 targets.
Oh my god, that's so good. You can wipe the board with this chick almost immediately. Can you imagine? You cast your partnered commander first on turn 2, let's say. Turn 3, you cast this chick, and then you say, all right, -1, she still survives, and ping, ping, ping. Get out of town. This card's so good. This card is so good.
I love it. So just so you know, Mike, Andy did agree with you that Profane Transfusion was terrible, but now he's telling you you're wrong about Jessica Thrice.
You wait. Let's let the price talk for itself, Tech 4. Can almost guarantee this is a $30 card right here. Give it a little bit. Maybe it'll be like 15, 20 when it comes out.
So this is interesting. The Archon was not legendary. Okay, he also agreed with you that the blue was trash. Archon was just a regular creature. We got sorceries. Jessica was our first possible commander. Now we're looking at Kamal, Heart of Kroza, 6 green, an 8 mana 5/5 legendary creature, human druid.
So for 8 mana, it can be your commander. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You never have to sacrifice a card in your deck for it. I like it's kind of a slight compensation for being 8 mana 5/5. But what does this thing do? It says the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures. Oh shit! What is this card called? Overruns every combat. Overrun. And then
creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample.
Overrun every combat. At the beginning of combat on your turn, cast an overrun for free. Nasty. And then pay 2 mana, so this can do it as soon as it comes out. Until end of turn, target land you control becomes a 1/1 elemental. Vigilance, indestructible, haste is still a land. Wow, yeah, that's not bad.
So,
I mean, it's worth its mana cost.
So on the next turn, you paid 8 mana for this, right? You can make, 3 lands for 4 hasters on the next turn?
Yeah. Well, not really. Because
2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So you can make 2 creatures.
Yeah, you're tapping those lands to.
Well, you can tap 4 lands to turn 2 alive.
Right.
So this costs 8. So you can tap 6 lands, 7, 8. You could easily make 2. If you play another land, you could easily be swinging with this as an 8/8 and up to 3 4/4s the next turn.
Yeah, I mean it's worth its mana cost. I'll say that. I don't know if I'd jam him in a commander deck, but he does have partner though. I really like the fact that they're bringing partner back.
If you could give him haste, he's an 8/8 for 8.
Dude, I love the fact that they are bringing partner back, though. Those partner cards were a huge hit. They still are. People love them, dude. The Thrasios or whatever.
Thrasios, yeah.
Yeah, Thrasios is a nasty partner card. People
I want to hide that
him.
card down there.
Oh, man.
So this card's been getting a lot of smack talked about it.
Oh, man.
And of course, I like it.
Okay, so all right, I gotta read this. It's Seraphic Greatsword. And it's a 2 mana equipment, 1 white, 1 colorless. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, the player with the most life or tied for the most life create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking that player. Trash. And it equips for 4.
This is like sort of Geist of St. Traft.
Trash, especially when you have to pay 2 for it and equip it for 4. Come on. If I wanted to play Geist, I'd play Geist. And the fact that I could potentially give my opponent a 4/4 angel.
Give your opponent.
Yeah. Whenever a equipped creature attacks the player with the most life total or tied for the most. Oh, okay. So yeah. Okay.
So
I guess I misunderstood that when I read it.
The other thing that this has that Geist doesn't have, read that sentence again.
Create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking that player. I don't like those 2 last words, dude.
You don't remove that angel at end of turn.
Yeah.
Imagine if you are winning the game and you get nothing, though. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty sucky. I hate you both. Looking at Sphinx of the Second Sun.
Moving on.
Here's another 8-mana creature. Oh, look. Hey, 8-mana Kamala in
There's
green.
a theme.
Hey,
does
look,
it have partner?
8-mana Sphinx.
It does not have partner, but it's a Sphinx. So what does it do? It's an 8/8 flyer, 6/6 flyer for 8 mana. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you get an additional beginning phase after this phase. You get an additional beginning phase? The beginning phase includes the untap, upkeep, and draw steps.
It's basically after combat, untap, upkeep, draw.
Stupid. For 8 mana. For 8 mana, I want to win the game. Like, I want to win the game for, like, 6 mana. You know what I mean?
Right, but you're always
mana.
thinking Modern, Legacy, and CEDH.
Yeah.
Some people want to play their Sphinx tribal decks, dude.
Yeah. Dalton says, as someone who loves to play white in Commander, this is trash. Ah! Told you. This is cheaper, but worse Moon Sliver Spear. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dalton. Special message from Brad over there. If
I don't
anyone
think they
it.
heard that.
Yeah, mechanically dumb. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Jason Clark says he wants to play that in Tron.
I wonder if he meant the Seraphic Greatsword, if he's following up with Sphinx.
Yeah, who knows?
I keep hinting at a card that I really like, but I don't want to show it yet. Our next partner commander planeswalker, Tavesh Zat, Doom of Fools. 4 and a black gets you a 4 loyalty planeswalker with 3 abilities. +2, create 2 0/1 black Thrall creature tokens.
Protects itself.
+1, you may sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards, then draw another card if that sacrifice permanent was a commander.
Draws you cards, gets you card advantage. There's two good things about the Planeswalker so far, but it's 4 mana. So what's this last ability say? It better say, by the way, you win the game.
Gain control of all commanders. That includes commanders that are in the command zone. They all go onto the battlefield under your control.
Yep, that's pretty much you win the game.
Yeah.
Yep, you win the game at that point. You neuter everybody's deck, and it's like Liliana's ultimate, where you take all creatures from all graveyards. It's like, you can't hide your commander at this point. You can't remove them to stop this. They're coming under your control. There's nothing you can do about it. Yep. You can't exile them. You can't sack them. They're coming under your control. You can't do anything to stop it. I love that. Yeah, that's a good card. I like that.
Najila the Blade Blossom. 3 mana, 3/2 human.
We
pay 5 mana, get an extra combat step.
Oh, really?
Isn't that what it does?
So yeah, we have to look at the English translation. It's Najila, the Blade Blossom. I like the alliteration. Human warrior. Whenever a warrior attacks, you may have its controller create a 1/1 white warrior creature token that's tapped and attacking. Wow. That's really good.
No, it's all about the Wooburg.
So the Wooburg, pay 1 mana of all colors, untap all attacking creatures, they gain trample, lifelink, and have haste until end of turn after this phase. Yeah, I mean, it's not really about the Wooburg in my mind. It's about the...
You're wrong.
It's about the 3
You're
mana.
wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
How many times have I played against Leaf playing this deck? He plays it and then makes infinite combat steps.
Oh, no doubt. No, yeah, you can definitely do it.
That's what this deck do.
I like that, but think of this too, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of ways someone can deal with that in the time that they might have. Think about this. So
yeah, I mean, this dies to shock. I get that.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, how devastating is it when you're just like, you have like 4 or 5 humans on the board, and people are like, oh, he's got some dumb humans. We got to watch out for him. And then they slam Najila, and it's like, yep. Or warriors. They have 4 or 5 warriors. And then they swing, and suddenly you got 4 or 5 more warriors on the battlefield coming at the person you just attacked. And it doesn't say it's attacking that player. They got a planeswalker? Boom, you can attack that too. You got another player you want to attack? Fuck it. Attack them too. I like this card. I like it for the first ability. The second ability, no doubt, is sick. And it's a nice, like, all right, you didn't handle it, you lose. But, like, the fact that you can slam this and instantly surprise your opponent is so good. Card's nasty.
I mean, it doesn't have haste.
But it theoretically does. Because
No.
it does devastating shit as soon as it comes out.
Sweet Gum Recluse. I think we can finally agree that this card is absolute crap until somebody breaks it. It is a 6-mana 0/3 with Flash and Cascade. Okay. Maybe Cascade is pretty good.
When this guy enters the battlefield, put 3 +1/+1 counters on each of any number of target creatures that entered the battlefield this turn.
So it includes itself.
Yep.
And potentially whatever you cascade into.
Yeah, trash.
Flash, Cascade, Reach, +3 +1/+1 counters on as many creatures as entered the battlefield this turn. I haven't seen a Hardened Scales EDH deck, but a +1/+1 counters green deck, they'll have fun with it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's terrible.
Moving on. Slash the Ranks.
5 mana, destroy everything except for... Ooh. Geist of St. Traft is going to love this card.
When he's your commander?
Yep.
Yeah.
Geist loves this card. Slash the Ranks. It's a 5-mana Wrath that kills all creatures and planeswalkers except for commanders. But then again, it does leave your opponent with the possibility of having something too.
Yeah. Which is sucky for a 5-mana Wrath. But
right. A lot of times, like they used to run the card Rout, I believe, which is, if I'm remembering it correctly, it's destroy all non-enchanted creatures, basically. There's some card that does that. And Geist of St. Traft would love that because it would play like a Bogle's deck. It would just kind of control you and put enchantments on Geist.
Voltron it.
Yeah, and then just destroy all non-enchanted creatures and boom. But now with that card, you kind of leave your opponent an out. Like if they have their commander, they can still chump you.
Another 6-mana Sphinx here.
Oh man. But it's a 5/6, so it's almost living up to its name here. Almost living up to its vanilla test. If you would look at any number of cards while scrying, draw that many cards instead. Trash. Next.
The Sphinx is
Spoiler.
not good, but I love her.
Next.
We love you, Andy.
Spoiler.
Next spoiler is the card in the set that I personally want.
This one needed another reprint. Good reprint. We all know. This is awesome. Vampiric
Usually when
Tutor.
you go to the next page, they will show there is a borderless edition.
Wow.
Vampiric Tutor.
Sexy, dude. Yep. Love
Black,
the art.
for an instant, it's the same art. It's classic art.
It's not classic art from Visions.
It's right.
Or
Okay.
6th edition.
Sorry.
But I do. It's the one that was just reprinted. What was it? I want to say Expeditions, but it wasn't. It was the booster set there. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Either way, yeah, good card. I think a lot of people know this. Vampiric Tutor needed a reprint. It's a huge commander staple. Commander's getting so much more competitive. And what do you run in any commander deck that runs black? Any one of them. You run Vampiric Tutor. I don't care what your game plan is.
So right now the Eternal Masters was selling at between 83 and 110. The Visions is about 100. The Judge Foil is about 200. 6th edition is about 100. This card is probably going to tank for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And this is sort of one that got us talking about that, buying stocks, thinking about MTG cards, and thinking about stocks, because you can look at a company that is well established, that their stock price suddenly drops because of outside circumstances, and you have to think to yourself, is that always going to be the case?
Right. Well, the way that I see this card in particular is we knew it wasn't on the reserved list. We knew they could reprint this.
Yeah, I mean, it was printed in Eternal Masters.
Exactly. And what I say about cards like this is that if you own a card, if you own a surplus of a card, meaning more than you can see yourself using, and the card goes over $100 and you don't sell it, what the hell's wrong with you? What are you waiting for? You probably should sell it. And you should have sold it, I think, before this spoiler, because I think it might be 110 now, but it probably will go down after.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Like,
So
I mean,
I'm looking at the price graph here from like July of 2016, and it looks like this version peaked at non-foil about. Oh, so non-foil, this version peaked, well, just recently, about $120.
wow.
And has come down probably in the week since the announcement.
God, that's stupid.
But
$120 non-foil. That's like the Tarmogoyf conundrum, right? Like when Tarmogoyf from Future Sight was all the craze. And people were like, wow, you own a It was such a big thing. That thing, I was talking about it back then. I'm just like, yeah, it's this nice staple card, but it's not on the reserved list.
Yep.
And guess what? The more people talk about it, the more it's in demand, the higher the chance they're going to reprint that. So, I think this is kind of falling into that same bracket. It's becoming a Commander staple. I wouldn't be surprised if they printed this a lot more.
So here's 6th edition. Looks like back in 2015.
The best art ever, by the way. This is the
This
iconic
was the $30.
art.
In 2018, it jumped closer to 40. In 2019, jumped into the 60s.
Ooh.
And recently, this copy's been in the 90s.
Ooh, yep.
Right?
Those.
So, well, yeah, sell them now for whatever you can. But
Yep. Sell them.
So, the cheapest this copy ever was $30. What do we think that this...
That's not the cheapest it's ever been. That's the cheapest it's been since 2015.
All right, when did 6th edition come out?
Oh, Christ. Like early 2000s, I want to say.
Okay.
Like, I got mine for like $5-10 way back in the day.
How much do you think that this reprint is going to go down to?
I think it'd be probably $40-50 still. Like, it'll lose half its value. I mean, because people are still going to love to crack it. From what I've seen so far, this is still one of the cards that... These are the treasure hunter cards right here. This is what you want when you crack these packs.
So, if in its life, the Eternal Masters reprint from 2016 started out at 28 and ended up 4 years later at over 100, you think that this new one's going to go down to 50, or is it going to go down to less than 30?
Oh, man. Tech Ford just brought up a great point. He goes, I think it plummets just like Grim Tutor. You might be right. And here's the thing about Grim Tutor, though. Grim Tutor wasn't reprinted since Starter, which was 95, 96, something like that. 97, maybe.
And Grim Tutor's not that good.
It's really not. No, it's not a good card at all. We were talking about replacements with the artifact that had just been printed that was actually better than Grim Tutor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Vampiric actually sees play.
Yeah, exactly. Vampiric sees play.
But...
And it has been reprinted before, too, and it's still at that value.
I'm also saying, I'm not totally disagreeing with you that it plummets like Grim Tutor. My speculation is this card will plummet probably to $20. But I think in 4 years, it could be a $100 card again.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how much they reprint it. I think, and this is my prediction for this card, whereas Commander is becoming more competitive, you see it. That's why this card spiked. If you didn't know why this card spiked, it's because Commander is becoming far more competitive.
Yep.
And people are realizing if you run black, you have to run this card. It does not matter what your game plan is. You have to run this card. So when people notice that, and you need this in every black variant deck, I think we're going to see like another Tarmogoyf thing happen here, where the first reprinting, this might tank the price, but I think it's still going to probably be like $50, I'm going to guess.
See,
but it will continue to get reprinted and probably go down to 20.
I think we're all right. I think this is one of those situations where we're all right. I just don't think it's going to sit at 50 because, like Tarmogoyf is a really good comparison to Tech 4's mention of Grim Tutor. Because Tarmogoyf ain't the shit no more.
Right.
it isn't something that everybody needs for Modern.
And it never really was. Like, it never really was. It was just super good. And it was printed once in Future Sight. You know what I mean? But with this...
And then it had that cachet, and then it was reprinted again.
Right.
And then it rose up, and then it got printed again.
And also, it is banned in Legacy. You cannot run Vampiric Tutor in Legacy. So people aren't buying into it for that reason exactly, and it's restricted in Vintage, so you can only run one in Vintage. People are not buying it for Legacy and Vintage. I think Tech 4 is right. They're buying it for Commander. The reason this spiked was because of Commander, and it's getting more competitive.
That's the only reason why I want that borderless foil.
Yeah, pretty sexy, man. All right, we all know this one's good. Next, spoiler.
Port Razor, 3 red for an Orc Pirate. I messaged so, just as an aside, it was recently our good friend Captain Picard's birthday. Captain
Picard?
Yes.
Are we calling him the captain now because of his awesome flights with his new drone?
Because of his now that's even cooler. I'm calling him Captain Picard because he has had a kind of spicy pirate commander deck for quite a while. And this set, we haven't really seen the theme yet, but it has pirate as a sub theme.
Wow.
So I messaged
He's going to love this.
Hey, it looks like you finally got a viable pirate EDH deck for your birthday. Congratulations.
Slightly viable.
I don't know. So if I shoot over to my notes, one of my notes here is, I don't have that open over here, is pull out your pirates, matey.
Look at you and your crafty words.
A lot of the other pirates that are decent in EDH are spiking right now. But Port Razor, 3 red for a 4/4. So it is a 4/4 for 5. It must do something else. Mike, what does it do?
Yeah, I don't like it, dude. I've read down through it. It doesn't have haste. It's just trash. So this card, it says whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that's another thing. I friggin' hate that clause. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Have you ever had a creature on the battlefield that does something even semi-devastating and it says whenever it deals combat damage? What do you instantly think of? You're like, I gotta chump this thing.
Yeah,
I gotta chump
whatever it takes to not let them hit me.
I gotta chump it, but it's like always on your mind. So, like, it just says, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, relentless assault. Like, untap all attacking creatures. There's an additional combat phase. But then it says it can't re-attack someone that's already attacked. So you can't go infinite off someone.
Right.
But
it's strictly a commander card.
Yeah, trash.
Kamal's Will, 3 and a green for an instant. Choose one. But if you control your commander, you can choose both.
4 mana instant. Until end of turn, any number of target lands you control become 1/1 and with trash. Choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to that creature. Trash. Junk. Dumb. You need shit tons of mana for this to even be good. And even at that point, it's not good.
So in a ramp deck, you could play this for 4 mana.
And have a bunch of 1/1s.
Have a bunch of 1/1s that all gang up and deal their power. Oh, yeah. No problem. Which one are you asking about?
Kamal's Will. This is what we're talking about here. Trash.
Because that sounded really good. So what Mike skipped over is, until end of turn, any number of target lands you control become 1/1 elemental creatures with vigilance, indestructible, and haste. They're still land. And if you happen to have a Sylvan Advocate out, they're 3/3s.
Trash. No, this is why I say this. Because, again, it relies on you having access to significantly more mana to make this even viable. I hate it. That's dumb. I hate the first ability. I hate the second. It's a removal card for 4 that relies on you having shit tons of lands. Junk.
Sometimes wrong. Never uncertain.
Often wrong. Never uncertain.
Often wrong.
I could be wrong, but I'm definitely not unsure. That card's trash. 50-cent rare.
I like Andy's. Summed it up pretty well. Targeted removal in mono green with upside.
That's interesting. There's more efficient removal, though. You have, you have...
This is cool.
You have, the fights target creature for, 1 mana. Where, it kind of does rely on you having a creature, but it's very efficient. It's very efficient. And if you This one I don't think is very efficient because it relies on you having access to more mana than 4 or skipping your entire turn for a removal. So it's really not even an instant at that point. Like, because you're not playing anything on your turn.
Well, you can still have your lands kill the other thing.
You could, but you would need access to far more mana is my point. You need at least 8 mana available to you.
Nope.
Or, what have you.
Hold on, let's go back to that because we're just having a slight disagreement. So you can tap four lands to pay for this and have it deal 4 damage to something.
Or text says, or just one decent creature. Yep, I suppose. Yep, so you could deal 4 damage to something.
For 4 mana, which is terribly inefficient, I agree. But it does have late game upside.
For sure. I can see the upside in late game. I just can't see it being worth its burden in the early game. Like, I would not want to draw that.
There is a cycle of courts.
Court of Grace. Enchantments. Oh my God. What? Okay, never mind. That doesn't say what I thought it did. Now, let me read this.
No.
Let me not jump ahead of myself. Court of Grace. It's a 4 mana enchantment, 2 white, 2 colorless. When this enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you are the monarch, create a 4/4 angel instead. Yeah, it's not bad.
In a black-white sort of tokeny build, because there's already another enchantment that says whenever you make a token, make a 4/4 angel instead of that token. So if you have that out in play already, like if that's your theme, is there an Abzan tokens deck?
Well, this is also just I hate looking at things for how they can be combined with other cards, but this on its own is good. I think this is a good card because for 4 mana, you have constant creatures, right? Mm-hmm. People pay 3 mana for Lingering Souls and then another 2 for constant creatures, right? For 4 mana, they just keep coming. And here's the thing. It introduces the concept of Monarch. So I know this doesn't drive card prices or anything, but it's playable in Legacy. Or playable in these Eternal formats because it introduces the concept of Monarch. And I know that sounds dumb, but Palace Jailer. The reason that's good is because of Eternal formats that it introduces the concept of Monarch in. So you have that, but then the upside to this is constant dudes. And the other upside to it, constant evasive dudes, right? So even if you're not the monarch, someone deals damage to you and they steal the monarchy, you have a constant 1/1 flyer to pose a threat to take it right back.
Like Tech 4 said, this is like a 4 mana Bitter Blossom.
Yes.
And you don't lose life.
Exactly. I think this is a good card.
I think all of the courts are actually good. And we're actually at like 53 minutes in this episode. So
we got to barrel through these. Show me the best ones.
We might be a little bit more judicious. But here's another Court of Ambition. 2 black. When Court of Ambition enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. If you're the monarch, instead, each opponent loses 6 life or discard 2 cards.
At the beginning of your upkeep, too. So it's 1 trigger happens all at once.
1 trigger per cycle, yep.
Yeah.
And it replaces itself, in theory.
I mean, I could see it if, people take like a smallpox approach to a commander deck, F all of their opponents. Like, it's not bad.
This is actually, I think this is pretty good in Nekusar.
Oh, yeah, Nekusar, that fits really well in.
Like, I just want the incidental damage, and I want them to discard all of those extra cards that I might be making them wheel.
I love it.
Some people build Nekusar specifically as discard decks. Some do it as wheel decks. This would be great in a discard build.
I like it. Not a bad card. I have levels. We have like trash, bad, not a bad card.
Not a bad card. Wheel of Misfortune.
Good and nasty. Wheel of Misfortune. Oh my God. I'm so pumped they printed something named that. Each player, same cost as Wheel of Fortune, same sorcery and everything. Each player secretly chooses a number, then reveal those numbers. Wheel of Misfortune deals damage equal to the greatest chosen number to each player that chose it. Then each player who didn't choose the smallest number discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. What? This is a complete mindfuck. So that's why I love it. I instantly love it because it is a complete mindfuck. And anyone who reads this card when you play it is going to be like, what the hell do I do? Like, they're confused almost instantly. Takes them out of their game plan, and they're like, all right, think about this complicated math problem.
This is a card that I don't want to play in Nekusar just because I don't want to explain it every time I cast it.
So each player secretly chooses a number, then reveals those numbers, deals damage equal to the greatest chosen number to each player that chose that. So if you chose the greatest, you get smashed for that amount of damage. If you chose the lowest, then each player who didn't choose the smallest, so if you choose the lowest, nothing happens to you. If you didn't choose the lowest, you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So you can pigeonhole somebody. You can make them choose deaf or deaf. So you play it when someone's low on life, and like one player is low on life, let's say. You know that they cannot choose a number that's above their life total, or else they just lose, right? Like, so they are probably going to choose not a high number. Like, they're going to choose a lower number. So you choose a number that is above their life total because they couldn't have chosen that. You know what I mean? Or you're just next. I mean, they theoretically could, but like in the thinking how your opponent should play the game, they shouldn't have chosen it. So like, man, and you could follow that all the way up the chart. You could do that at any life total. Jesus Christ, this card is nuts.
All right, last card we're going to talk about today. This card has gotten a lot of hype.
Yep, I've seen this. I have seen this spoiler.
2 and a black, human rogue with flash. You control your opponents when they're searching their libraries.
So this means you see their hands, you see their libraries, and you see anything that they could see during that library search.
While an opponent is searching their library, they exile each card they find, meaning each card you find.
Exile it.
And you may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast them.
I love these comments. Yeah, this guy is a man. A big, strong man. Yes, he is. For 3 mana.
Yeah, there's lots of broken stuff. Obviously, it's like a play on Notion Thief. It's a play on some other effects.
Yep.
This is just going to make you the enemy of whatever table you flash it into.
Oh, yeah.
But when this is also going to be the epic I won stories when somebody went tooth and nail entwined.
Right. Well, it goes... think about it this way. Even Mind Sensor was nasty when you had it, right? You could always just wait and time it perfectly and be like, yeah, you're screwed now because you searched your library. Now think of this. You're screwed, and I get to see everything you know. Like, I get to see all of the hidden information, and I get to plot my next move.
Also, it doesn't say cast, and Andy brought this up. F-yo fetch lands. It does say you can play those cards, so even if somebody goes to search a land...
You can find it.
And play it.
Play the land. Yeah, it's a very good clutch choice of words. Card's busted. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So we talked about like 8 cards in the last hour.
All right, let's show the big ones. How many we got? How many are here?
How many are here? What?
How many are spoiled?
Oh, I don't know. There's a bunch.
All right, let's thumb down
138,
through.
about 361.
All right, scroll down slow. Don't go too fast. I'm a slow reader.
You're not
slow. I could have stopped it slow.
I'm a slow.
I'm a slow now.
That's the thing. You're not going to recognize.
Preordain. Pongify or something like that. I don't even want to see it. It's a common trash.
Run away together. One in a blue.
Zur the Enchanter.
Let's talk about these for just a second.
Maelstrom Wanderer.
Ugh.
Queen Marquesa. Prosh. Xenagos.
So these are you can spot the ones that are done in that foil etch treatment.
Vile Smasher the Fierce. Thank God for this reprint. Nice choice. Good job. Fully in support.
Well, they did that whole cycle of partners, I think.
Oh, man, I'm so pumped. Did they reprint Thracios or whatever?
No. Or it hasn't been revealed yet.
Okay.
They are doing an Arcane Signet. I think this will be the first time that's in foil, and they're offering it full art. That's cool. Commander Spheres being done. The lands Mana Confluence is being done, which is great for Pioneer.
They printed the what are those enemy? The enemy I don't know what to call these. They're like the fast lands, but not. They require 2 different opponents. They printed the other opposing colors. So these are the
Battle Bond lands.
We printed Mana Confluence. Holy shit! I just remembered in my head you said that, and wow. Like I told you, I'm not just a slow reader. I'm a slow.
I'm not just a slow reader.
I'm a slow.
Okay, there is one other card that I was not going to let this episode go on without bringing up, because you pointed out that there are a lot of goblins in this set. We got.
Where is it?
Ya boy.
What? Krark, the thumbless? What? He got no thumbs. How good can he be?
Oh, Susan Collins, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck politics, dude. I'm so sick of it. I get text messages on my phone. All I want to do is just look at Krark the Thumbless and figure out why he has no damn thumbs. He's a 2/2 for 2. Legendary creature, goblin wizard, partner. Oh, love him already.
Commander.
Love him already. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return it to its owner's hand. If you win the flip, copy it. You may choose new targets. Yeah, trash. But, yeah, trash. Junk, next.
You got a 50-50 shot
at fucking wasting your turn. Next. Trash. Trash.
I'm going to disagree. I think a lot of people are going to play this and have a lot of fun.
I like it if you're using very efficient instants and sorceries.
Yeah.
If you're using very reasonable, efficient instants and sorceries, like Lightning Bolt, like what is it? Just any 1 or 2 drop blast or removal spell in red. It's not bad.
Show Mike Planar Chaos.
Planar Chaos sounds like planar cleansing, however, way more chaotic. Wasn't that the name of a set, too? Planar Chaos. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, sacrifice it. Whenever a player casts a spell, they flip a coin. If they lose the flip, counter the spell. Stupid.
I'm sure that there are other better goblins in this set, and we will certainly take the opportunity to talk about more of these cards next week. We'll have almost all of them spoiled by the time we come back next Thursday.
I do kind of like Planar Chaos, now that I think about it and I've had time to digest it. If you have board advantage and you slam that, it's like Eidolon, where it's like you're kind of locked out. If I have board advantage, 50-50, you're locked out. 50-50 chance you can't do shit next turn.
That does sound like the kind of jank tribal that you are known for.
Yes,
tech for.
I would. Yeah, it sounds nasty. I like it. I would play that in Grenzo. Planar Chaos seems pretty good. Like you just get board advantage, and I don't have to play spells. I can play them off. I can bring them in. Yeah, like I can just bring them in from the bottom of my library. God, that's so good.
If you actually run Krark's Thumb, which is the 2-mana artifact that lets you re-roll. If you would flip a coin, instead flip 2 and ignore 1.
Oh, man. That's so good.
And then, if you have some really good Rule 0 commander friends, you could play Krark's other Thumb.
Oh, my God.
If you would roll a die, instead roll 2 of those dice and ignore 1 of those results.
No wonder he ain't got no damn thumbs. These greedy players have already made artifacts out of them. Greedy magic creators.
Planar Chaos is just opponents. It must have been errated.
Well, that's not bad.
Okay.
All right, let's go back. We got to get some more in here. I want to see some more of these. I'm excited now, dude. I know you're trying to play me off like this is the Grammys or something. I hear the music in the background. And it's like, yeah, all right, finish up your speech, bro, because it's time to go. I don't give a flying F, dude. Let's see some more of this shit. What else have we got? All right, let me scroll down through. This will be the... Oh, you can keep it going. I love the music, but I ain't going to let it shut me up is all I'm saying. Imperious Perfect.
Nothing will let you... Nothing will.
Well, we got a 0 mana. We got a Kobold. First Strike Menace Trample Partner. Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good.
Legendary.
Rogart, Son of Roga.
That is pretty good.
That's so
0 mana Kobold Warrior.
And it's uncommon? What?
First Strike Menace Trample.
That's good.
He says, put equipment on me.
Yeah. He just says, run Prosh.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need him in your command zone. Like, it's just First Strike, Menace, Trample, Blam. Like, he's a 0-drop spell. Like, I don't care what he does. You pay 0 mana for him, and it's something. Like, I think that's cool, man. I think that's really cool. Any 0-drop spell, special place in my heart.
3 visits. There's a $100 card that got a reprint.
Where?
Middle row on the right.
3 visits. Oh, Portal 3 Kingdoms card.
Exactly right.
Wow. Search your library for a forest card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Doesn't even come in tapped. It's good.
Nope.
It's good. Flashbag, Siren Stormcaller got a reprint. Good. Very useful. Yeah, dude. Gift of Paradise. We've got Confiscate. Not bad. Not bad. Well, what is this chick? Nope, 5 mana junk. Is that a Llanowar elf right there?
Where?
All the way over on the right. If it's Llanowar elf, Finhorn elves. What? Sweet, good reprint. At common. I mean, I know these are probably pre-constructed commander decks, right? So it doesn't really matter the rarity. You only get a certain.
No, this is a draft set.
Oh, that's right. God damn it. Yep.
These are booster packs.
Wow.
Rarity actually matters in these.
Nice. Yeah, so that's really good.
Yeah, and this is just...
Well, crap. What is that? Forceful what? Forceful Denial?
A 5-mana Cascade counterspell.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Force of Will. Yeah, it doesn't quite fit the bill, though.
No, not quite at all.
No. Yeah,
so then we have all of our multicolor commanders.
Not bad. Zara Wind Raider. 4/3 for 5 mana. Red, blue, 3 mana. Human Pirate. Whenever it attacks, look at the defending player's hand. You may put a creature card from among those cards onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker. What? What? That's so good.
Yeah.
Especially if that's like your commander and you're playing some tempo deck. I suppose you would probably, if you're playing a tempo deck, you'd rather have the partner commanders there in red and blue, but still not a bad addition. Like, solve it or die. Solve it or die. And what are you going to do? Put a chump in front of it? You're going to put a big dude in front of it? Try to stop it? Bounce. Play it against you. Oh my god, that's good. Ludovec. Yeah, the good thing is, I think the way you set this up, the most nasty ones are at the top.
Well, and that's all the rares and mythics are at the top.
Well, what is this black card for 5 mana right here? Instant. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, as you cast it, wow, you may choose both. That's cool. Each opponent sacrifices a creature they control with the greatest power, junk. Exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards, then create X01 Thralls, where X is the greatest power among... Yeah, junk. I'm sorry I wasted your time reading that card. I see instant with a bunch of stuff I can choose, and I'm like, oh, wow, I instantly think of Cryptic Command. And this is just so far from it. Trash. Rash.
So you think that I was just trying to cut you off because we were at 50 minutes? I was trying to cut you off because the rest of these cards suck.
Stop me from making some terrible mistakes.
We're going to come back next week. Like I said, we're going to have everything except for that last little bit. And Wizards hasn't done a great job of holding on to special stuff for the last minute. So I have a feeling by the time we all talk with you live on the YouTubes next Thursday about 6 o'clock, we should have almost all of this set. Pardon me, maybe I should drink a little bit more.
You should, dude. Investment advice for the week. If you
Holy
own...
crap. Brad Eaton just found the cast and binge watched every episode last weekend. You guys are great.
What?
Thank you,
Sweet.
Brad.
Appreciate you, man. So I'm going to say this. Investment advice of the week. If you own a card that is like not
this
some
is
foil
brag
special...
time.
Not some special foil edition BS. If you own a card that is worth over $100 and it is not on the reserved list, sell it.
Take your $100 and be happy.
Sell it. Because you know Wizards is going to reprint it to try to get all that hype on the set. Sell it. Don't get caught in this Vampiric Tutor conundrum over here. You got a surplus of them. Sell it.
Yeah, you don't want to end up regretting that down the line.
Right. This isn't like a snap this up. This is like a snap this away, dude. Get rid of it.
I'm kind of on that boat. Croxa is struggling to break the $20 mark, and until we can actually play Paper Magic again, I don't understand why it would. But I'm almost at the point where I'm just gonna ship off my Croxas, even though I think that they are more than $20.
And also, we wouldn't be the SnapCast if we didn't do a flashback. And remember when we told you, go get yourself some Okos? Remember when we said banning a card is pretty good for the price because it just tanks it and people lose faith and you should probably still get them because it's probably a really good card. Guess what? Foil Oko, $200. That's all I'm saying. What's up? What's up? Got mine at 16.
The foil. Mike and I were talking earlier about a trade we did, I don't know, 6 months ago, where I wanted foil walking ballistas for a format now that I can no longer play and that ballista is banned in, and got, a play set of foil walking ballistas and some other stuff. And in that trade, traded Mike a foil full art Oko that's now $200.
It was a risky trade. Those walking ballistas could have gone up significantly too. I hated getting rid of them. I told everybody it hurt my
you
heart.
bitched about it. They weren't even in great condition. I took it in the butt for that one.
What? They were in great condition because they were once in a Hardened Scales Affinity deck, and that instantly makes them great.
They belong to Michael, and for that reason alone, I'll keep them forever.
Thank you, sir.
Speaking of which, I want to go out today. Just the last thing that I'll say. Opposition Agent and Michael's other favorite card, Scheming Symmetry. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow the audio-only podcast on any podcast service that you listen to. And we love you. Spread the podcast.
Not the plague. I love it when